Hi guys, welcome to the Laverne Studios. This is another episode of Android programming. We'll be talking about the Android label view. Sometimes we need to show a label above an image view or any other views you have. This takes us to the library label view, whereby we'll be integrating this into the course of some JPEG files and even buttons. It's not limited to pictures alone. And even list items, you can have a label view wrapping at the edge, either at the top right corner or at the top left corner. I'll be moving straight on the studio where I'll be explaining the source files in details. Right in Android Studio, I have the build Gradle, the project, and the module app session. In the module app session, I'll be talking of one important dependency, the CAM GitHub Linga 1216 label view version 1.1. This particular compile is very important. After adding this, you will synchronize Gradle and you set up your source file for calling the libraries in it. I'll be looking at the rest, which is the layout. We'll be talking about the list view, the recycler view, and some list view item, in which we'll be integrating this in the list item, the recycler, and buttons, and even in PNGs. Let's look at the activity main XML, which is the UI of this particular application. This is a scroll view, whereby we have the main activity as the context. The padding bottom, left, right, top are all 16 dps. We have a linear layout right inside it, where the layout width is match parent, the rotation is vertical, and the height is wrap content. We have the label button view. We have to, if you want to use a button, you need to call this com.lead.lib.label button view. This tag is very important to introduce a button. We assign an ID to it called label button. The text on it is button. We actually did some styling to it by adding some background color, giving it a label distance, height, and even a rotation, which is the right top. We want the wrapper to be at the right top. And what is the text you actually need on the wrapper? We call it HD. You can decide to set this to anything you feel like setting, and even the text size as well. We have another linear layout whereby we have the image view this time. You call the CAM lib label image view, just like the way you call the button. Now we set the layout width, the height as well, and we scale type to center crop, just so that it's going to sit right at the UI. We assign a background color, and even the rotation this time is at the left top, and the text on it is China. You can decide to modify these and use any text you feel like. We have another image label image view, whereby we set all its features appropriately to what we need it for. We have a label text view, whereby you can see how you can use a text view with a label. We've actually seen how we can use it with a button. That's for the image. Now for the text view, the same thing goes. The same way you assign for the image is the same way you do this, where you give it an ID called text. We give a background color, distance, rotation, left top, and the text on it set appropriately. We have for the button view, we have another one for the button view. Now we talk about the button view, the image view, and the text view, on how to assign a label view to those tags. Let's get to look at the activity list view XML. This is for the list view, whereby we have the list view calling the context main activity, the layout width and height match parent. The same thing goes for the recycler view. We have to call the recycler tag. We're using the recycler view. The recycler view looks a lot like the list view. Now let's look at the list view item. The item right in the list view. The relative layout with a background color white. We have the label image view now, calling give it an ID called image and text on it China. We set the center vertical margin left true and 8dp respectively. We have a text view whereby you assign an ID called tree text. and the text color is slightly dark. That's okay. I'll be going straight to the Java classes, and we'll see how we're able to call on the corresponding classes, the list view activity, the main activity, the recycler view activity, and the simple base adapter. Let's get to look at the main activity, which is the UI of this particular application. Now we import the label button, the label image view, the label text view, or from the com lead.lib.label, forward to other tags you really need it for. The main activity extends action bar activity. We have our onCreate method where we set the content view to the layout activity main. Now we try to initialize the label button view, calling its appropriate ID. Set an on-click listener to this. What about when we click on this label button view, the label button view is going to set the label visual, whereby you're going to actually call the isLabel visual method. The same thing goes for the label image view. When you click on it, we initialize it, set an on-click listener to it. So it's going to set the label distance by 50. We have for the image view 2, whereby it's going to set the label text as art. We have for the label text view, this is for the text view, whereby it's going to set the label rotation to 3. And we have another one for the button click, whereby it's going to call the list view activity. That's for the list view click. And now for the second click ID, it's going to call the recycler view activity as an intent. I hope you understand that very well. Now let's get to look at the list view activity. We have to import the array lists. We imported the label image view, and we imported the Java activity list. That's cool. We have the list view activity. Now we have a category data, whereby we created the public fields, the image, the text, the label, all in string data type. We have the category adapter that extends simple adapter. That's where we need the adapter to call on. We'll pass the category data object as a generic parameter. Now, a constructor for this category adapter, we have the context, the data of the generic, and we call the super, which is the super class of these particular attributes. We get the item resource, which is the layout, the list view item XML. Now, the get item view, we have the position, the convert view, and the order, where we get to call on the different lists. We have the category adapter, whereby we set the text view based on the ID of the text. We set the text right there. The same thing goes for the image. We call on the ID image. We set its image resources and the label text. Now we convert to view. The onCreate method, we call on the activity list view XML. Now we need to initialize the list view, the category adapter, and set adapter to the list view passing the category adapter. We call on the get category data method tries. This get category data just like replication, of the value. Now we have the list generic data, which is in the array list. Now we're going to create the arrays. The category data, we have this text, which is calling the appropriate picture, from the MIP map. The same thing goes for the second one, which is K2, the third one, the fourth, the fifth. These are all populating the list item, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, the ninth, and the 10th. Now we're going to add all to the data and notify data sets change. The same thing goes with the recycler view activity. We're just going to replicate all this and set the label text to each of the list items. I'll be looking at the manifest. Definitely, it's just going to be a default manifest, but we have some inclusions, which is the activity. You need to register that to the app. We need to register the two activities that were used in the intent. the list view activity and the recycler view activity. That's why we need you need to register the intent activities. After that, you find you're gonna build up and test it out. We'll be uploading the source file to my GitHub account, and I'll be showing you this in an Android emulator, so you see how the label view is actually wrapped around at the top corner, the left and the right of the PNG files, and actually of the list items as well. Here we go with the application. If you notice, there's a button whereby we have a wrapper, a label wrapped around the button, whereby you have a button, you can integrate it in a button. You can as well integrate it in JPEG pictures or PNGs. You know, this is at the top right corner, this is at the top left corner with the text China, with the text conf view. The same thing goes for the text view. You can actually wrap it around. We have for the list view demo and also for the recycler view. A click on the list view will take us to the list items, whereby you can see how we've been able to wrap around the pictures there. You know, you can see how it's been wrapped around it at the top left corner. You know, you can decide to place it at the right corner if you really wish. Thank you very much for hanging out with me throughout the session. I hope you've been able to pick up one or two things on how to use the Android label view from the label view library. You actually have to include that in your dependencies. That was the first thing I did in this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful time. Bye bye.